a line out the door. There's probably, I don't know, 3,000 people in that room. There was a line out the door to get information about how to help Battleground Texas, how to become deputized to register voters. That is a absolute top-down. Jeremy Lin knows exactly what needs to get done. He's a brilliant guy, and he's going to make it happen. And his people are excited to do what he knows will work. Our guys, and this is why I love you. If I tell you to jump, you're going to say, "Well, who the f are you to tell me to jump? I'll jump when I want to jump." And that's I mean, you guys know that with some of your Tea Party groups and your activists. Everybody wants to be the Indian. Everybody's ideas are the best. And
Yes.
there's, in order for any grassroots movement to truly long-term be effective, there's got to be Indians and there's got to be chiefs. That's just the way.
You can kind of explain that as, I think most Republicans or conservatives are independent thinkers.
Yep.
And they think for themselves, and they're going to question what, you know. But the others are followers. Like, what you want me to do? It's like jumping off a cliff.
That's where groupthink pays off.
Yeah, they do. That's exactly what I was going to say next. The grassroots liberal organizations absolutely have that groupthink mentality on their side that we don't have, and quite frankly, I don't want, because I love the independent. I'm that same way.
Right. They'll never take my liberty.
Yeah,
I don't care what
it's
they do.
my individual liberty and my individual freedom. And I am an individual. We're all individuals. I don't like to be part of the groupthink mentality. But when it comes to campaigns like this, that does not help us. And that sucks. But that's the reality of the situation from my perspective, looking at it statewide.
This is an answer to your question of what you can do for us.
Sure.
It seems like I've been here 5 or 10 or more times hearing this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When these people leave, I don't see boots on the ground doing anything. When I was in college, in the summertime, I did the Southwestern Publishing Company dictionary sales, door to door.
Okay.
We drove to Nashville. We had intensive training over the weekend, like how you knock on the door, how you wipe your feet, how you reach for the handle, how you engage people. But we went through that dozens of times, and so it just became second nature, and I could sell you a dictionary right now from 40 years ago. We need that.
Training.
Okay, so block walk training?
Just
general? Okay.
marketing yourself. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, marketing yourself, selling it. Well, you can think it, you
How
can
to
believe
initiate.
it. Yeah.
Who in here has not done block walking before?
I haven't done it effectively.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna fix
We can set up some block walk training. We can make that happen. I will plant that bug in Whitney's ear, and we'll try to make that happen. We have a script and a kind of a how-to guide to block walk that I will make sure that all of you have.
Okay, but just getting the script and getting the words, hearing the words, ain't what we need. Need the training where you're actually going through every motion until you're walking to the next door.
And I think playing devil's advocate, you know, and having,
Sure.
you know, so that we can do feedback on what to expect, all the different scenarios that you might encounter, how you can.
Okay.
Like we were a debate team or something.
What?
Like we were a debate team or something.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
I think the practical things, like when you knock on the door and they come to it, step back.
Yeah. Okay. So.
I mean, not everybody would assume that.
Right.
Those are the practical things, I think, is what's being talked about.
The biggest thing with block walking, and I will talk to Whitney about trying to set up some block walking training.
And Sean, let me just tell you what has worked. And I think we don't need to drag Whitney in from Washington every time we do this. I think
Sure.
this is something that we do when the December 7th meeting,
Right.
when leadership gets together, is that all of the leadership needs to go through a practical training, and then, you know,
Train others.
once Stacy has it, Stacy can train for Gray County.
Mm-hmm.
Jim but I
Yeah.
really didn't know until I started doing this in another county. They asked me to come in. People really are afraid to go, I mean, if you've done it a lot, that's just like public speaking.
Right.
Most people are more afraid, there are two things people are afraid of: dying and public speaking. And so if you do it all the time and you're not afraid of it, you lose the sensitivity that other people have. Because I have been at meetings and I've said, come up here and they're going, oh my God, don't ask me to come in front of the room. So it's the same thing with block walking. If you've done it a lot, if you've done it for 20 years, you don't think anything of it. You just go, give me my list, I'm going down the street.
Right.
But it really does that role playing. So what I'm saying to you all is don't be afraid to ask us to give you these tools.
We
Because
shouldn't have
they're,
to individually ask. We need to train as a group, and we need to do it intensively.
well, Bob, that's what we're saying, is that we're recognizing now, from what you've said, that leadership, the come and take it leadership needs to make sure we're all understand that we need to have this kind of training, and then we don't drag, like we say, we don't drag Shane and Whitney over here in every county to do it. Because what we need to do is have, maybe divide your county up into segments. And say, in the north part of the county, we're gonna have block walk training for this and we're gonna, and divide it up into voting precincts. If you can get precinct leaders, in every voting precinct and get a team, then a team can have like a training in the evening.
Sure.
On a Sunday afternoon. I mean, you have to be, if you're gonna do this kind of training, you gotta be very flexible for people, because you can't say I've got everybody trained if I have just one trainer. Because not everybody's gonna show up.
Is there a specific email or contact where, like, when you leave today, if we think of another thing, that area that we think you could maybe help us in, that we could, I mean, I know there's a lot of different probably contact emails for this, but is there one that's specifically for suggestions for ways that you could help us? Maybe send,
There is not a suggestion box email account in that regard.
or ways we can help, kind of thing, if we think of something later.
Absolutely. You will all leave with my email address. Anything that you need that I can help with, I will make sure gets to the right people. The way that we want to structure this campaign is we want to have, because we really are running a shoestring campaign. We do not, I'm telling you, we don't have the funds or the resources to put together a intensive block walking weekend of training. We're really, really, really going to lean heavily on our already established activists in the state who have been doing block walking for 20 years. To, if you've got 4 people in your neighborhood who have never done it before but want to help, I need you to train them, because I can't, I can't go to Lubbock every weekend to help with it, and Whitney can't fly in from Washington. This is an absolute grassroots, bottom-up campaign. But I will make sure that you have my email address, and that will make, I'll do as best I can to make that happen. And we can set up block walking training.
We can put it all together.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
Assuming that we're gonna have this
PowerPoints
training,
and that, yeah, the whole thing. The diagram,
I have
video,
paper.
sorry, Bob.
I have
assuming that we're
paperwork.
gonna have this training, prior to having it, you have a YouTube, a video, or something that shows us what we're gonna learn before we go there to learn it.
If
No
they don't, we
program
can
set
make
up training.
one.
We can
I would
make-
propose that we have something like
Sure.
that. So that when you do set up these activists that are ready to train people, they know what they need, what the message is gonna be.
Sure.
And how they go through the motions, knock on the door, reach for the handle, break eye contact, all that stuff. Okay. The other thing you can do is the next time you have a meeting, please make sure that you have wireless available. I can do so much more of what we're doing if I have a wireless network.
Sure, and like I said, I got thrust into this on
Oh, there
Thursday.
is?
So I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants.
Sorry.
There's actually a video from Walking from FreedomWorks that I was in last summer, that I was in training there.
There's what? I'm
It was
sorry.
made for FreedomWorks University. They have like a small video about how to walk, and I'm sure you could find it somehow.
Yeah, and that,
I'm not sure
I
where
did
it's
not
at.
know we had one.
Yeah.
He made it.
But that's awesome. Is it on FreedomWorks University? So FreedomWorks University is a kind of a new launch concept, and if you go to freedomworks.org, you can link over to FreedomWorks University, and there's a series of kind of grassroots inspired courses in there, and it's still kind of in the beta testing phases.
I will look for it.
There's a
I
video
will
on
find it
block
and
walking.
link it up.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
We have some training videos that we put together on our website from different scenarios that you come across while block walking.
Okay.
It's
Cool.
on our website at wtplongview.com. If you just want to take a look.
Outstanding. So there are resources available out there. Block walking is a huge thing, and it's a great effective tool, and especially for this campaign. What we need to do, and because the voter list that we're going to get you guys, you know that generally when you're walking up to the door, you know that this person probably isn't a Democrat. You know at some point recently they voted in a Republican primary or general election. For me, because I used to do door-to-door sales in high school, that was always intimidating because it was all the houses in a row and I have no idea who I'm going to talk to. When you already kind of know the household that you're going to approach, for me it's more comfortable. But it sounds like we need to do some block walk training, so we will make that up.
What you do, once you get into one door and talking to those people, you tell them where you're going next, and if they know anything about them, and
Sure.
try to get something that they're concerned about, so that you can be talking
One
about.
thing I did before I started block walking in my neighborhood is I just,
Go to the-
bought a case of Constitution, pocket Constitutions, and I just went first and just gave those out, and I wasn't doing anything else except just knocking on the door saying, do you have a pocket Constitution? And that's all I was doing, just to introduce myself to them, and then I would go back later, and they had already seen that I was there once with the pocket Constitution, and then they were more likely to talk, I think, visit and talk with me.
And that's actually fantastic and a phenomenal idea.
Well, if you break this thing down, let's just talk about the differences in East Texas than if we were trying to organize in the metro area. The Dallas, Tea Party, and, cause there are then like Park City's Tea Party. I mean, they have organized by zip code because they're so densely populated. And I'll just get, anybody in here from Upshur County? Anybody? No? Okay, well, we've been in Upshur County before to try to talk to them years ago about how to organize. And I told them, I said, if I didn't have but 8,000 people to worry about, we could have had them organized last weekend. Because people try to make this like it's some grand, some scientific theory. All it is getting to know the people in your voting precinct. Take your entire county, and Keith knows this, and some of you people that have worked as precinct chairs, the whole issue of having a precinct chair is not just somebody that's got their name on a ballot and they run around with a little, pen that says I'm a precinct chair. It actually was designed for you to get to know your neighbors in your voting precinct. And if that precinct chair, for example, had a team of 5 to 10 people that helped them, after every election cycle, you look to see who was new on your vote, who was a new voter. And then you went and you contacted that new voter. And you got to know the people in your precinct. It's not like you're saying, okay, I gotta reach 5,000 doors in the next 3 days. I mean, if you take it and you organize your county precinct by precinct, then the rest of this stuff becomes natural to you, because it's about learning how situational awareness. It's about walking up to a door the first time, and if you walk up to in a yard and somebody's got